Do you guys like spin dip? And if you do, how do you like it? Do you like it cold and out of the refrigerator, dipping with veggies like celery sticks and carrot sticks? Or do you like it bubbly and hot and cheesy with artichokes like TGI Fridays that you can dunk like tortilla chips in? Either way that you like it, I'm gonna share both recipes with you today. Hey guys, Kira here from 50 Shades of Mom, back to share some recipes with you guys that is perfect for your Rams Super Bowl party. Did I say Rams? Yes, I did. And why is that? Because I am not a Patriots fan. But even if you are a Patriots fan and you're on that Tom Brady train, you're still allowed to watch this video. Why? Because these spin dip recipes are for everybody. Whether you're a Rams fan, a Patriots fan, a Jets fan like myself, no matter who you are rooting for, or whether this is not even for Super Bowl, maybe you just want to add these recipes to your arsenal so you can pull them out at any time. I have two fabulous spinach dip recipes that I have been making for a very long time. So I have a cold recipe that I've been making since the dawn of time. It is seriously one of my very first appetizers that I ever made myself, and I used to love hollowing out a big bread bowl. So I couldn't find one here. Super disappointing because it's my favorite way to serve this, but I used to get like a big pumpernickel bread bowl, and I would cut the top off and hollow out the whole inside and dump this cold dip into it, and then we would dunk veggies and chips and the insert of that bread into it, and oh my goodness, it is just so good and perfect for a party. And then once I started working for TGI Fridays, I was like, wow, the hot version is super good too. And I loved the artichoke in it and the creaminess. Fridays serves a wonderful ciabatta bread that toasty and crispy was like perfect, dunked inside this hot spinach dip. So I really love both, and I couldn't decide which one I wanted to share with you. Every year since I've started my channel, I've been sharing recipes right before Super Bowl that are perfect for a Super Bowl party. Football is my favorite sport. I celebrate a Super Bowl party like it's Christmas. It is so fun to me. I love planning menus and I love sharing what I cook that day because, like I said, it is like a feast in here. So I wanted to share a dip with you guys. Every time I mention that I'm making a spinach dip, somebody always asks for the recipe. So I decided, all right, I want to share it, but which one? Then I decided, forget it. I'm going to share both, and we're going to do battle of the spin dip. So we're going to make both the cold and the hot version, and then you guys vote down below and tell me which one you would like to serve best on your table for any given event, especially for the Super Bowl. So I'm going to take you down to the counter and show you what I'm making for my Rams Super Bowl party. So first we're going to start off with our cold version, and being that there is no cooking involved, it's literally just a dump and go recipe. So super easy, you guys. So first ingredient is of course the spinach, and I prefer the frozen chopped spinach. Defrosted, we're just going to squeeze all the water out. We need 1 cup of mayo, 1 cup of sour cream, an 8-ounce block of cream cheese. We need 1 package of the Knorr vegetable recipe soup mix. That's what I prefer, and then some chopped up green onions. So first off, let's just get most of our ingredients into the bowl because, as I said, this is pretty much a dump and go recipe. So I start off by putting the cream cheese in and then adding the vegetable soup mix, and then in goes 1 cup of that sour cream, and then we're going to put in 1 cup of that mayo. I do suggest that you leave your cream cheese out to get room temperature. It just incorporates better when it's softer. And then now we're going to move the bowl over and work on our green onions. So I will say that if you guys like green onions, definitely be generous with these. They add such a great addition to this dip. It's a crunch, not a huge crunch, but just a crunch nonetheless. And it is so good, and it is like an ingredient I would not be stingy on, again, if you really like the taste of green onions, because it really does come through. So now the last ingredient at this point is just our spinach, but you can see, look at all of the water that comes out of frozen spinach. So this is the only part of making the spinach dip that I hate, because no matter how long I leave it out sitting on the counter, it is still always so super cold that my hands are always frozen by the time that I get all this liquid out. And there isn't really a whole lot of spinach once you get all of the water out of it, but it is enough for the recipe. The recipe actually only calls for 1 cup of spinach. This is a 10-ounce package, but I always wonder if that counts some of the water, so I just add the whole thing because it's only a little bit of extra spinach. And so now we're going to add that to the bowl, and we're literally just going to mix it all the way through. And now that it's all stirred up, we're just going to put it in a Tupperware. This is definitely better served super chilled. It definitely makes it all congeal and thicker, so we just threw it in the fridge, preferably overnight. Now here we are at our hot dip, and this has a little bit more ingredients, but it's still not super complicated. So again, we need that chopped spinach, some sour cream, a jar of artichoke hearts, some mayo. We're going to use some Parmesan cheese, as well as some fresh peeled garlic. And then we're going to use another pack of cream cheese, and then some mozzarella cheese, shredded preferably. So first we're going to load in our sour cream. This one only calls for a 1/2 cup. So a 1/2 cup of sour cream and a 1/2 cup of mayo. You can tell some of the ingredients are the same since they're both spinach dips, but still variations. So now we need a full cup, so 2 of these 1/2 cups of Parmesan cheese. Then we need some of that diced up garlic, and you guys, the garlic is so noticeable in this recipe. So if you like garlic, again, that's another ingredient to be super generous with, because it is so strong but not overwhelming. It just really comes through and it makes it super good. So I just gave it a loose mix before I added the cream cheese. I didn't let this one sit out as room temperature as I wanted to, and it is easier to mix it through when it's in chunks. So I cut it up in chunks and stuck it in that little ramekin, and I put it in the microwave for 15 seconds, you guys. That was all I needed to make it soft enough to mix it through. And then I did the same thing with that spinach that we did in the last recipe and drained it. And then I chopped up those artichoke hearts, and you can see that I didn't finely chop them because I do like it a little bit hearty, but again, you can chop it as fine or as, you know, large pieces as you want for your liking. And then you give it a mix, and then I'm going to stick it in a casserole dish, because again, this is hot, so we're going to stick this in a 350-degree oven after we top it with that shredded mozzarella. So you give it a good smooth out in your plate, and then you top it with that shredded cheese. And then I put it in the oven for like, I would say 20 minutes, but then right around that 25-minute marker, I started to notice that it was getting brown around the edges, but the inside still had some like unmelted cheese. So I ended up kicking it on broil, and that was perfect because broil was enough to just get the rest of that cheese like hot and bubbly and melty, because you know you want that like really stringy cheese inside of a hot cheesy dip. So once that was done, I pulled it out of the oven. Now you're going to want to serve this as soon as you pull it out of the oven as possible, just because the hotter the better, because you want that true cheesy effect. So you can serve this with so many different things, and I put them on the plate just to show you here. I have the everything like Snack Factory pretzel crisps. I have 2 different types of tortilla chips here, the multigrain and the scoops kind. And then I have some veggies here. I have some carrot sticks, some celery sticks, some cut up pepper. I could have cut like so many different things, but I decided to just not go crazy, just because this isn't actually Super Bowl yet. And so I didn't want to like plate like nutso and waste any food. But I do actually have it plated in a Miami Dolphins bowl, because my son is a very passionate Miami fan. So on Super Bowl, every team counts, right? It's whoever you want to root for. And so I have our cold dip in that, and then here is our hot dip. Like, this just screams TGI Fridays to me, which again is like where all of my inspiration and true love for spinach dip comes. And I wanted to show you guys this right on camera, how cheesy that this was. And I wasn't even sad about ruining it, because oddly enough, I'm like the only one in my family who really digs spinach dip, so I could not eat both of these things by myself. So I've already packed up some of the hot one, half of it, and half the cold one, and sent it over to my neighbors next door, who are thrilled because they love my spinach dip. But I just wanted to show you guys like how cheesy it is. I actually think it would have been even more cheesy if I wasn't like chit-chatting for a couple of minutes about the first dip and came and dunked like right away and talked about the hot one first. So definitely brings back so much TGI Friday nostalgia, except honestly I think mine's a little bit better because I love the garlic flavor that comes through. There is no garlic in the one from Friday, so the big nice hearty pieces of garlic really just, the flavor just hits your tongue, and it's not overwhelming. It's just it makes for a great flavor. So again, guys, I really love these dips, both of them, and I just didn't even know what to share with you guys. But I hope that you like both these recipes, and if you do, give them a very big thumbs up. Both of them are super versatile, and you really just could use them in so many different ways at so many different events. It is just a really good set of recipes to keep in your arsenal. And yes, I'm double dipping. Why? Because I can, because it's pretty much just mine. So thank you guys again so much for watching. As I've said a couple of times, go Rams, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.